According to the Jamaica Gleaner, second SSL victim speaks out. 78-year-old woman left financially ruined. A second victim of the multi-billion-dollar fraud at Stocks and Securities Limited SSL has come forward, revealing the devastating impact of the scandal. According to the Jamaica Gleaner, a 78-year-old woman from St Andrew, who invested $60 million in SSL in 2019, was informed by investigators that her money was never actually invested. The revelation has left her financially ruined. The elderly woman, who requested anonymity, shared that the fraud scandal, which came to public attention in January 2023, severely affected her health, leading her to seek medical treatment, including sedation, on multiple occasions. SSL, now embroiled in controversy, had been recommended to her by several friends who spoke highly of its reputation and the good interest it allegedly offered. The SSL illusion, trust built on big names. During an interview with the Sunday Gleaner, the woman disclosed that track and field icon Usain Bolt's association with SSL, along with other prominent figures, influenced her decision to invest. In 2019, after receiving $60 million from the sale of a Market Street property in Montego Bay inherited from her father, she chose to invest the money at SSL's St Andrew office on Hope Road, merely for convenience. Despite SSL's long-standing financial irregularities and warnings from the Financial Services Commission, FSC, the elderly investor admitted that she did no research on the company before investing. SSL was flagged by the FSC in 2017 for a culture of non-compliance and mismanagement of client funds. Earlier in 2009, the FSC noted unsafe and unsound practices at SSL, leading to the suspension of its repurchase agreement repo business in 2010 due to a $1.30 billion deficit between client liabilities and matching assets, false promises and shattered trust. Reflecting on her decision, the woman recounted handing over the $60 million check in September 2019, an action she now deeply regrets. She recalled being reassured by SSL representatives who told her, "If SSL goes under, your money is in Cayman." The promise of security and SSL's supposed affiliation with big names gave her confidence, despite her initial intent to invest cautiously to preserve her capital. An SSL proposal dated January 3, 2020, revealed the company's plan to invest $58.60 million of her funds across its group of companies, primarily in US dollar income solutions and Jamaica dollar equities. The document, signed by then portfolio manager Shannon Harris and SSL founder and director Hugh Croskery, emphasized capital preservation, liquidity, and high income. The proposal detailed investments in National Commercial Bank, Wizinco, and specific upcoming IPOs, as well as SSL Private Wealth Management and SSL Asset Management Cayman. However, the elderly investor never saw the returns she was promised. When she learned of the $30 million, approximately $4.7 billion fraud at SSL, she reached out to a company director, who assured her that her funds were safe. Yet, her attempts to withdraw her money were repeatedly dismissed. Financial ruin and lingering questions. The investor recounted visiting SSL 5 times to withdraw her money, only to leave empty-handed on each occasion. "Sometimes I talk to God, I say, what is the lesson and what is the reason for this? I had to go to the doctor and get tranquilizers. I was a wreck," she shared. Now, financially devastated, she relies on a part-time job and support from her children to cover rent and other expenses. Since the scandal broke, she has been contacted by the Financial Investigations Division, FEED, and UK-based Kroll Associates, hired by the Jamaican government to investigate SSL. During questioning, the FID revealed that her signature was allegedly water-forged for transactions at SSL, raising suspicions about the authenticity of the investments. Kroll also indicated that it was unlikely her money was ever invested. She criticised the FSC for allowing SSL to continue operations despite long-standing red flags, stating, "The FSC should not have allowed SSL to keep on taking money because they are there to regulate them, and if they know that a company has red flags, they should have gone back and stopped everything until they had sorted themselves." Lingering questions and accountability. The SSL fraud scandal continues to raise questions about accountability and regulatory oversight. Jean-Anne Panton, a former client relationship manager at SSL, is the only person charged so far, facing a 22-count indictment for forgery, larceny as a servant, and engaging in a transaction involving criminal property. However, many are questioning whether Panton should bear sole responsibility for the scandal. Director of Public Prosecutions, Paula Llewellyn, stated that her office is awaiting further documentation from the FID before deciding if additional charges will be laid against other individuals. Meanwhile, SSL founder Hugh Croskery's departure from Jamaica during the investigation has sparked controversy, prompting questions about how he was allowed to leave the island amid such a high-profile probe. The bigger picture: should victims go global? With more than 200 accounts impacted by the fraud, the scandal has garnered international attention. Should the victims, including Bolt, bring their stories to international media to pressure authorities for justice? Should Bolt grant interviews to international press outlets to shed light on the scale of the fraud? The ongoing investigation and revelations from victims like this 78-year-old woman underscore the need for transparency, accountability, and justice. As the SSL fraud scandal continues to evolve, it raises critical questions about financial regulation in Jamaica and the protection of investors' funds. What are your thoughts on this ever-changing SSL fraud scandal? Should Jean-Anne Panton be held solely responsible for the SSL fraud? Should Hugh Croskery be questioned about his role and how he was allowed to leave Jamaica during the investigation? Should the 200-plus victims, including Usain Bolt, take their stories to the international media to seek justice? The SSL scandal is far from over, and its impact on victims continues to unfold. The pursuit of justice and accountability remains a pressing issue for all those affected.